This one is Calumet Painting and Restoration. Rick Suarez. How are you, Rick?
Morning. Good morning. I like that little intro with Adriana about speaking Spanish. That was a good thing. I was getting a little nervous. I was kind of hoping you didn't ask me if I could speak Spanish, but I can actually. So,
We were going at it because Adriana and I are probably similar levels with our Spanish.
yeah,
Yo puedo hablar español con mi esposa
yeah.
si yo tengo que
Right.
and no queremos las niñas para comprender. But when I get together with her family,
Yeah.
I can't understand. I mean, they just talk fast enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes that I know they're talking about
yeah.
me, but I can't pick it all the way up.
¿Tu esposa es la mexicano o puertorriqueña?
Mexicana.
Okay.
Sí. And Puerto Ricana is, they speak even faster.
That's why.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but they're from southern Mexico, which speaks really fast.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, so it moves along.
Yeah.
Do you have to speak? Are some of your customers Spanish speaking?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, probably, I don't know, 25%, I bet, speak some Spanish, or a lot of them don't speak any English, actually, some of our customers. So I'm able to talk to them.
Calumet Painting and Restoration is right around the corner here on Columbia
Yep.
Avenue. And I noticed what you were talking about, that the person, the resale shop.
Yeah.
Well, how?
Yeah, they're putting everything. They're going to close up. They're trying to sell everything. I I talked to him a little bit on Sunday, but he was in the process of moving stuff. But yeah, I think he said in a month I think their target is to try.
I mean, it seems like every time I go by there's people buying stuff and selling stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a good business.
Actually, that's was a kind of a marker for me to tell people where my office was at. I'd say go to where that place is at, the resale shop, and everybody knows that place. And I go, I'm right across the street. I got the shop that's got all the flowers in front of it. So. But there's people they consider those things treasures that are in there, and they just would spend hours and hours and hours in there. People that like those type of antique things. So
if you got any questions about any home improvement stuff in your area of your house, your business, seasonal stuff, whatever, Rick Suarez will take your phone call at 219-845-1100. Rick, now is the kind of it's as cold as it really ever gets right now.
Sure.
So there's not really any outdoor painting going on. And we talked, about getting some discounts possibly on interior stuff. Yep. But it's also the season for like home improvement shows and so forth.
Absolutely.
For people who wouldn't be able to go to them once the season kicks up.
Yeah, we did one in Tinley Park last week. I spoke about it last week. It was, it's kind of funny. Well, I'm going to touch back on this in a little bit, but we did one in Porter County, the one in Tinley Park. That's usually the best one that we do, or I should say the most attended one. It was a little sparse. It's a little. There's like something going on with the economy. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe just a little nervousness or something going on. But the people don't seem quite as. It could be the weather also, the coldness. Holding people back. But it was well attended. It was a great show. We did really well there. We're going to be doing a show March the 1st and the 2nd. If you want to take a drive out to Michigan City, we're in the casino there, so you can kind of take care of two things at one time. Visit us and then head on down to the casino if you like doing that kind of stuff. And that's a real nice show. Beautiful venue. I don't know if you guys ever been out to the Michigan City Blue Chip. It's in the event center there. It's I think the shows are 9 or 10 to 5 typically is when the shows are, and I think all of them are free as far as I know. And it's not just about going to visit Calumet Painting. There's a lot of other vendors there. So if you're doing any kind of repair work in your home, any kind of remodeling, it would probably behoove you to go out there and talk to some contractors.
That is a Hammond firefighter using the word behoove, which is really kind of, what that means is that when you're in there 24 on and 48 off, you were studying. And you were reading through dictionaries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Calumet Painting and Restoration offers a wide range of painting services, including residential, commercial, and industrial painting. But you also do a whole bunch of other stuff, including baths and showers and fixing things. And, we're trying to kind of morph into where you call in and you can ask Rick a question. But, Rick, I do have one before we get going. In speaking of speaking Spanish, my wife's mother is very old, 93, and they were in the same place for a couple of decades, and we wanted to move her out. So I had to go in and empty the entire place, which is, it was a life lesson. And then I'm like, I'm not going to do this to my kids. I am going to slowly get rid of everything if I'm allowed to get really old. That would be one of them. But also, my father-in-law who passed a while ago, he kept up on new codes and he was always in, but he died a number of years ago. So we go to sell this this condo, and the people come in and they say, hey, this sounds good, the price is good and all that, but they make us, they make us take the duct work that was just blowing the dryer vent into the into the attic. And then there was, I think, something else that was letting it go in the attic, and we had to take them and connect them to the roof and outside. Get a vent outside of it. Now, I didn't. I think we were okay to leave it grandfathered in. I think now they make you put the vent outside. But no, this woman was very adamant. She did not want that. Why?
Well, one of the reasons, I think the other vent you're talking about would probably be the vent in the bathroom, which vents out.
Yes, it was. It was the bathroom and the the dryer vent.
And what happens is you push that moisture up there into the attic. It's got nowhere to go, and then what happens? You get mold growing up there. It's not a healthy situation. So once they go and do the inspection, then they have to go in there and they seal everything. They just spray like a shellac-based product. It seals it in, kills the mold. So you got the problem taken care of. But if you continue doing it, it's just going to come back again. So that's why you have to have the coaters. I think you has to go. It could go up through the roof or it can go out the side, as long as you get it outside.
Soffit, right? Or
you can go out the soffit. Typically straight out the walls. What they'll do, it's a little bit easier. But whatever, it depends on the house and how it's put together. That would be a problem. And so it's just not a healthy situation to continue to do that. And so I would recommend.
I didn't realize. I mean, it was the realtor had somebody. I was actually going to call you guys, but he's like, no, listen, this happens a lot, and I was not aware of that the codes had changed on that
kind of stuff. Yeah.
And then there was some of the wiring that was, I guess, the old. Flexible stuff, the old flexible stuff,
right?
And they wanted the new insulation on it and so forth, so we had to go and do a little bit of that too.
Yeah, the electrical codes, it's kind of specific. I would leave that up to a licensed electrician, let them come in and figure it out. I know the Romex, I think is what you're calling about, the cable, the steel cable stuff or whatever. That typically can only be so many feet. Of that, before it's out of code, So they change them laws all the time, so I'm not on top of them, so I don't want to misspeak and say the wrong thing. But typically, you just get an electrician.
That's what it was. It was the roll mix, and the electrician came in and just basically put in a different section and connected on both ends. Hey, if you want to talk to Rick, you got any questions? 219-845-1100. Let's take one now. Hey, you're on the air with Rick Suarez. Go ahead. Hello, you're on the air. All right.
Guess we lost him.
Yeah, we lost him.
Can I throw something out real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
We got the Best of the Region contest coming up. We've been voted the best painter in Northwest Indiana for the last 3 years. And that's going to be starting on February the 20th. And you can vote for Calumet Painting or whoever you like to vote for under the services Best Painter. We also are under the services of Best Kitchen and Bath Remodeling. You can text 280 to 219-915-8767, and then you'll see it come up. Thanks for voting for Calumet Painting. That would be for the painting end. And then you can also text 257 to 219-915-8767, and you can do that for a month. You can vote once a day. You can actually vote 2 times a day. You can vote via the text on your phone, and you can also do it on the computer system. So we'd appreciate all the votes you can give us. Again, we've been blessed by being voted the best painter the last 3 years, and I think a lot of it is due to our employees, our workers, our painters that are on the field, doing face-to-face with customers. They appreciate it, and they back us on the voting. So we appreciate it, and hope you get a chance to do it. You can also, if you got any questions on how to do it, also you can also call my office at 219-844-7501.
We're talking to Rick Suarez, and that's Calumet Painting and Restoration. Rick, you mentioned the kitchens and baths. You pretty much started. If you guys follow the show, Rick's a 24 on, 48 off firefighter. Like many people that go into that, they wind up doing, going in and doing some sort of a side hustle, like current chief Bernie
Grizziolia.
Yeah, Grizziolia. One time I go into I'm on 118th and Whiting, and I see him standing there, and it was right on top of some really nice looking brand new concrete. And he's all dirty and stuff, and I'm like, Bernie, I'm pretty sure this is Whiting right here. Why are you I think he was assistant chief then. And he's like, oh, no, John, I'm like every other firefighter. I got something on the side. But his was concrete, right?
Yeah, does really good work, too. Bernie does really, really good work. I think he's still doing it. I'm pretty sure he is. I haven't spoken to him in a while. But now he's the chief, so he's what they call 5 horns. He's got 5 horns on his collar, so that's as high as you get.
He gets 5 horns, and he probably doesn't get out into as many.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if he's still. I'm sure he's doing some of it, but I haven't spoken to him.
You
for a
could
while.
Basically go through the Hammond Fire Department and find somebody to. There's a landscaper, I know that, and there's a couple of painters. A couple of plumbers. And concrete guys, electricians,
HVAC,
air
conditioning.
You get it all done.
You can get it all done. Cabinet guys, everything.
But let's go. So you're doing all of the painting. And all of a sudden, I mean, I don't know if you could explain exactly how you would have evolved into doing kitchens and bathrooms, but that's really another level. That's another language to learn. What prompted you? Let's talk about the kitchens first.
Okay,
the kitchen's a big one, man.
That's a great question. We kind of evolved, because we did really, really good work. We were, when you're doing painting, you're going to be doing drywall, you're going to be doing wallpaper removal, maybe wallpaper installation back in the day when they would do that kind of stuff. But then you kind of evolved, and then they wanted us to do the trim. If we were doing the drywall, you might as well do the trim. So I ended up with a couple of guys that were really, really good carpenters. They were really good painters, really, really excellent carpenters also. So it kind of evolved from there. We got into painting cabinets first, and then we realized that a lot of times the cabinets were kind of jazzed up and the doors were off, and we replaced the doors and then repainted them, and then so it kind of started evolving like that. Then we started taking the counters off and doing that, and then the bathrooms just kind of came along with that. We were painters, typically it's a seasonal thing, like you spoke about at the beginning of the show. When it gets real cold, you get driven inside naturally, but then to keep a crew of, let's say I got like 10 painters, 8, 10, 12 painters, whatever, to keep those guys busy, you really, really got to get a lot of work. So we kind of decided to go into the bathrooms a little bit, the one-day baths. We do the one-day bath, so it created a little bit more of another revenue stream. We call it a profit center. And then that gives us, it gets us into the house typically to do that kind of work. And then from there, they'll usually have us paint the bathroom. Painting's one of those things, like if you do good work, they'll find more stuff for you to do, so. And that's kind of how that part of it went. On the outside, we do a lot of condo association work for condo associations. And so we realized early on that the board members are just volunteers. They work other work. They just do that on a volunteer basis. And, when they have repair work and all the other stuff going on, they end up having to try to run 3 or 4 schedules, and they get tired of doing that kind of stuff. So we came in and told them, hey, we can kind of do all of it for you. We'll come in and do all the repairs. We'll take all of the rotted wood off, whatever it was required to get the place ready to paint, the outside. and they were appreciative of it, and they actually kind of lean more to those kind of guys that would do that. So we end up becoming general contractors, actually, even the city of Hammond and kind of everywhere we
Really?
go. Yeah.
So where are you licensed? I mean, I know it's one of the issues in Northwest Indiana is there's like 19 licensing municipalities, and you got to take all their you got to pay everybody, and you got to pay the piper. So are you in most?
Yeah, I wish I knew the number, but it's a lot. It's probably close to that number because we go into Illinois also. So and into Michigan. Actually, there's a little funny story. We were in we were, see what time we were in. We thought we were in Michigan City, but we were actually in Long Beach, which is a little town there.
It's not part of Michigan City.
Evidently not.
All right, I did not know that. I thought it was.
We thought we were too, but we got cited for it, and we were kind of like on the line there, and it created a bunch of, we were doing a lot of work on the outside painting work, and the painting usually doesn't create an issue with people so much, but there it did. And so we learned our lesson. We got to really, really kind of like look at where we're at, and then we'll buy the license. Like, we don't just buy all of the license like on a blanket thing. We just wait until we get a job there and then buy it, Unless in Hammond we get them all the time because we're from Hammond. Gary, we get them all the time because it's a kind of a pain to go up through the process again once you lose your license. So you got to re-up it every year. So we like to stay after that one. There's some towns like Munster. Munster's another one. We're in Munster all the time.
Munster is next.
Yeah.
So I was going to say you better have all your stuff paid up because I think one of the people coming in is actually one of the code enforcement.
Yeah.
So we're talking to Rick Suarez with Calumet Painting and Restoration. This is being recorded on Tuesday, February 18th. So if you're driving around, you got a question about your kitchen or bath or anything, 219-845-1100. Let's take a couple phone calls right now. Hey, you're on the air with Rick Suarez. Go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Are you gonna?
Awesome.
Are you getting ready to do a kitchen or a bath?
No, I was getting ready to do a bedroom. Is that okay that I still ask?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead. Ask.
Okay, so I just recently moved, and I wanted to paint 2 of my bedrooms, but it smells like the owner was a previous smoker. If you guys did a job, is there anything you clean the walls with, or how do you prepare it to paint it?
Yeah, that's a great question. Typically, you can just kind of, we have a certain way we wash the walls normally, like, I guess, I don't even know if it's a secret, but TSP, which they used to put in detergents, is a great cleaner of nicotine. So they have one that's called a TSP substitute, where it's not so bad for the environment. That we use, and then we just rinse the walls down. So it goes pretty quick. We kind of have done it, so we just kind of spray the product on there, wipe it off. But you want to get that off because nicotine, for all you smokers out there, it burns right through paint, so I can imagine what it's doing to your body. So if you paint over that without sealing it in, it's just going to come right back through. You can put 3-4 coats of paint on there, especially light colored paints, and you'll end up seeing a stain come through. It just you have to get it off the wall. It's just really.
So no primer will do that?
Yeah, you can do it all. You can also do it with a primer. Yeah.
So you would wash it with TSP.
TSP.
You could treat it with a primer, but the best way is to get it off.
Get it off. Yeah, it would be just it's probably I just feel better than to have it inside the walls there somewhere. But yeah, the primer, that's a great option there. And that would be like you can use like a shellac based. That's one of the reasons we usually go with the washing first if we can, because the sealers are, shellac or alcohol based, and so they got, they're really kind of a smelly. It's kind of a smelly proposition, I guess.
Caller, are you seeing any stains on the walls?
A little bit. Nothing that's like quite obvious, but I think that was just the smell. It just. Yeah. I was like, "Oof, I need something."
Yeah. What about the? Is it carpet or is it a hard floor?
No, it's hard floor.
So, is it possible that the hard floor is holding some of that too, or no?
That I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah,
I'm trying to go through options here.
Yeah. That would be another thing. We could just wash the floors down. It's going to get some of the smell off. But that's one of the things we do when we go into a house is look to see. We got a pretty good idea by looking at it if there's been smokers in the house before.
What color?
What color do I want to paint it, or what color is it now?
No, yeah. What color is it now?
Right now, it's a gray.
Okay. And you're gonna go to a earth tone beige.
There you go.
I would like to go to a pink, actually.
Oh, okay.
A light pink or something that makes a statement.
A rose pink.
A rose pink. Okay. Well, the next session I have here, I think I'm scheduled to be here on the 18th of March. I'll let out all the colors of the year: Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore, all those colors.
Well, do they? Is there like a seasonal popularity?
Every year they come out with their color of the year. You can go online and see them, but I'll throw them out next week. I know green's going to be in a lighter green. I was looking at it yesterday.
But not pink.
Pink, that doesn't come in very often, I'll be honest with you. And I don't pick colors, by the way, so don't look to me to pick the color for you. So.
All right, well, we got nothing against pink. I just don't come to my house and paint my walls pink, okay? So, all right. Thanks a lot for your phone call. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
You know, explain that. I mean, by the way, we're right across the street from two paint stores.
Yep.
And I've gone in there before, and they really know their thing. But I know the answer to this, and that certain colors are more popular in certain years.
Yeah. And they have, I don't know how they pick it, but they they come out every year. You can go online. Like I said, I was looking last night at Sherwin-Williams' colors over the years, as they've kind of gone. They were like in earth tones early in 21 and 22, and then they went into like a gray, and then this year's what's it? It's called Quietude, and it's a HDTV line of Sherwin-Williams, and it's like this green emerald, like a light emerald green, kind of a strong.
Well,
color.
luckily, hopefully, we don't go back to hunter green. Remember, hunter green was.
We still use that.
Who was hunter green?
Well, they do it on doors. That's on a door, outside door. Yeah.
My wife was like a huge hunter green fan.
Yeah.
So that call. We don't have any more, do we? No. So the caller brings up a good point. Is that you're often. Whatever you're doing is going into somebody else's space, and they've already had that space, and you got to make it your own.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that smell of smoke, man, sometimes it just you could do whatever you want. It's not fully 100% gone.
It's and it's tricky because sometimes people know, and sometimes people, like if you bought a house, you don't really know unless you smell it that somebody is smoking in the house. Usually you can see it in the corners is where we look, but it's one of the questions we always ask because it's a preparation thing for us. We have to make sure the walls are clean, and they have to be dry before we can actually get the paint. We got to make the paint stick, so it's one of those things we have to ask. And some people get offended by, I got to watch the way I ask, people that, hey, does anybody smoke in the house? And, they think you're judging them sometimes, but I'm just trying to figure out what I need to do to get the place ready for us to.
So, in other words, when you go into the house, you could smell that somebody's smoking.
Yeah.
No, nobody smokes there. Okay. I'm sure your husband isn't smoking by the bedroom window and blowing it out the window, but I can smell it, lady. But you don't want to do that or you'll lose the sale.
Right. So you got to be real careful, kind of like walking on eggshells, how you ask that question,
So here we are in February. This would play at other times, and you might listen. And it's very cold. It's the coldest day right now. I'm looking here. It's well below zero. Good time to get a hold of Rick Suarez, especially if you want interior jobs done. But right now, you're also lining up the exterior stuff.
Yes. We'll be actually with the two shows we just did. We've got a lot of leads that we're kind of chasing now, but. We typically discount up all the way until the end of March, 15 or 20%. So it's a really, really good discount. After that, we get kind of backed up with, I wouldn't say too much work, but a lot of work, and it carries us the whole year. So after that time, we typically don't discount anymore. But if you get a hold of us before then, and you schedule with us before the end of March, we can extend that discount to you, and you can do the work whenever you want during the year. As long as it's done before the end of the year, we're good with it. So it's an opportunity to save yourself some money.
So even though you might sign it up now on the discount, it might not be done right away.
Yeah,
All right.
you might not want it till like around Thanksgiving. It don't matter to us so long as we schedule it with you. And once we schedule, we take a deposit, and then actually, if it was that far out, we would probably just take a real small deposit just to hold it. But I would say that like if you're looking at different projects, I tell people this all the time. If you're looking at doing several projects around your home, if you go to one of them home shows, you'll see window guys, you name it, whatever. And everybody has more than one project they're going to do. The only way to really know what you need to, money-wise, what you need to get together is to get a contractor to come in there and give you a quote. And we give free quotes. We're low-key people. I'm one of the guys that does the sales. We go there and we'll look at what your needs are as far as getting the work done. We don't really even get into the colors too much until we figure out exactly what it is that you want to do, and then we'll present the job back to you. You know exactly what the cost will be. We'll extend a discount to you, and then at least at that point, you got a starting point. Then like I need $2,000 or whatever it may be. You got it. You're gonna need to work towards that end.
He's Rick Suarez. This has been the Calumet Painting and Restoration Show. Thank Rick for coming in, man.
All right, thank you. Nice seeing you again, Jed.
Till next time, see you later.